97%. That is the massive percentage of organizations currently exploring, piloting, or deploying AI agents. These are autonomous systems capable of making high-stakes decisions, taking complex actions, and executing multi-step tasks without human direction. They are the new operational reality, 97%. Now here is the number nobody is putting next to it, the number that changes everything, 12%. 12%. That is the percentage of those same organizations that use a centralized platform to maintain actual control over the AI agents they have deployed. Not oversight in principle, not a policy document, a functioning control layer. 82 points separate those two numbers. That gap is the governance crisis nobody is naming. 82 points. That is the governance crisis nobody is naming. Let that sink in. This is not a technical gap, it is a leadership void. OutSystems surveyed 1,879 IT leaders and found 97% are already exploring agentic AI strategies, but only 36% have a centralized governance approach. Just 12% maintain control. Deloitte surveyed more than 3,200 director-to-C-suite executives across 24 countries. 74% plan to adopt agentic AI within 2 years. Only 21% currently have a mature governance model. Grant Thornton found nearly 3 in 4 organizations are giving agentic AI access to their data and processes, piloting, scaling, or running it in production. Yet only 20% have a tested response plan. Gravitee reports 48% of all AI agents currently running in production are unsecured, not partially monitored, unsecured. And Writer research shows 35% admit they could not shut down a rogue agent. Cannot shut it down. Think about that. You have deployed an autonomous system that you cannot stop if it decides to go rogue. That is the governance gap. Now let me explain why this happened. Generative AI was a tool. You gave it a task. It produced an output. You reviewed the output. The human remained in the loop by definition. Agentic AI is fundamentally different. An agent perceives its environment, sets its own goals, takes actions across multiple systems, and adapts based on outcomes, autonomously, continuously, without asking. Most organizations took the governance frameworks they built for generative AI and applied them to agentic systems. That is the structural error. Deloitte found 84% of companies have not redesigned roles. Only 21% have a mature AI agent governance model. Meanwhile, 75% plan to deploy. Gartner, over 40% of agentic AI projects will be canceled by 2027 due to governance failures. Not because the technology failed, because the organizations had no clear sense of how to hold the system accountable when it went wrong. They built the engine but forgot the brakes. Failure 1. Boundary disputes. When an autonomous agent operates without equivalent boundaries to a human role, it either escalates to a human, negating efficiency, or proceeds without authorization. This creates liability that nobody has been assigned to hold. If the agent makes a mistake, who is responsible? The human who didn't sign off, or the system that didn't ask? Failure 2, accountability voids. When an AI agent makes a consequential call, approving a benefits claim, rerouting infrastructure, who owns the outcome when it is wrong? 44% have no vendor clauses. 29% have no kill switch procedure. This is a critical failure in public sector governance. Without a kill switch, you have ceded control of public services to an autonomous black box. Failure 3, governance debt. KPMG documented agent deployment rising from 11% to 42%, then pulling back to 26% as leaders discovered they had built without foundations. The pullback is the market discovering its debt. For government and public sector leaders specifically, government organizations are using agentic AI at a higher rate than banking or retail, 52% adoption, but the trust foundations are missing. Only 6% of government agencies are in the ideal state, high confidence combined with demonstrably trustworthy systems. A cancelled government AI program is not a tech failure. It is a public trust failure. And public trust, once lost, takes a decade to rebuild. I have spent 20 years advising governments on exactly these transitions. The stakes could not be higher. Governance is the answer. Question 1. What is this agent authorized to decide, and what requires human sign-off? Not in principle, in the deployment architecture, a technical constraint built into the system before it goes live. Question 2. Who holds accountability when the agent is wrong, and what is the mechanism for reversing a wrong decision? A kill switch is not an emergency response, it is a governance signal. An organization that cannot shut down an AI agent has not defined accountability, it has assumed it. Governance is the answer. Governance is the condition that makes adoption sustainable. Question 3. What is the minimum viable governance architecture? The WEF readiness framework is clear. Assess local conditions honestly, develop risk strategies, and sequence from high readiness functions first. The organizations deploying AI agents are not moving too fast. They are moving at the speed the market rewards. But only the ones who build governance infrastructure will be able to accelerate with confidence. Speed without governance is not agility, it is project cancellation. It is public trust failures. It is rogue agents that nobody can switch off. Governance is not the obstacle, it is the condition. This is the strategic mandate for every leader in this room today. You must build the architecture before you deploy the agent. That is the price of entry in the agentic economy. Governance is not the obstacle to agentic AI adoption. Governance is the condition that makes adoption sustainable. Accelerate with confidence by building your foundation today. If you want the framework, I wrote 3 books on exactly this: AI for SME, Leaders for Enterprises, Digital Sovereignty for Institutions, and Sentient Cities for City Leaders. Links are in the description. And if your organization is navigating an agentic AI deployment decision right now, go to usmanzafar.com. Book a strategic advisory session directly with me. Let's define your governance roadmap. Subscribe to @Dr. Usman's Official. Share this with a CTO, a city official, or a government advisor making an agentic AI deployment decision right now. Join the global conversation on governance. Because the organizations that build governance into agentic AI before deployment will define what every organization looks like tomorrow.